Welcome back. We will now begin Section 2, Hong Kong Springboard for GBA Opportunities. This panel discussion will help international community gain better understanding of GBA, this vital and dynamic initiative in order to better prepare for growth and opportunities, and discuss how Hong Kong can be an important gateway for foreign investors to enter the mainland China's market, especially the GBA.
Without further ado, may we now invite the moderator of this session, Mr. Roden Tong, Vice President and Chairman of the Greater China Legal Affairs Committee of the Law Society of Hong Kong. Please also join me to welcome the following speakers to join Mr. Tong for a discussion. We have Mr. Benjamin MOK Kwan-yu, JP, Deputy Commissioner for the Development of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area, the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Next, we have Mr. Fred Khan, former Chairman of the Belt and Road Committee and Chairman of the Committee on Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, the Law Society of Hong Kong. Next, we have Mr. Nick Chan, MHJP, Chairman of the Legal Committee, Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce. We then have Dr. Patrick Lau, Deputy Executive Director, Hong Kong Trade Development Council. And last but not least, we have Ms. Maggie LEE, Committee Member and Vice Chairman of the Greater Bay Area Committee, the Chinese General Chamber of Commerce, Hong Kong. Our moderator and speakers, please.
Thank you, Alva. Thank you, Sharon. So, good morning, everyone. So, welcome to our session 2 of our today's forum. The topic is Hong Kong Springboard for GBA Opportunities. As you probably know, the GBA policy involves attracting foreign investment and promoting outward expansion of local enterprise to go global. So GBA's economy is almost as big as Italy's GDP. It has a GDP of close to US 2 trillion in 2022. Basically a 20% jump from US dollar 1.65 trillion in 2019. So for those of you who are not familiar with GBA, it literally comprises with 2 special administrative regions, Hong Kong and Macau, and 9 cities, namely Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Foshan, Huizhou, Dongguan, Zhongshan, Jianmen, and Xiuqing in Guangdong province. So I think we are all aware that many forums before us have looked into the GBA opportunities. So what makes this forum so unique to every one of you today is because we are able and manage to gather all the representatives from the government, business, and legal sectors. So today, we are going to explain to you Hong Kong's role as an important gateway for foreign investors to enter to the mainland market, especially that of the GBA, with case studies and real examples. Without further ado, I would like to first introduce our first speakers, Mr. Benjamin MOK Kwan-yu, JP, Deputy Commissioner for the Development of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area of the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Benjamin joined the administrative service in 1997. He has served in various bureaus and departments, including the Civil Service Bureau, the former Transport Bureau, the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Brussels, the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department, the former Home Affairs Bureau, and the Home Affairs Department. Benjamin was the Principal Assistant Secretary of the Civil Service Bureau before joining the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area Development Office in September 2020. So let us welcome Benjamin to introduce the government's policy in helping companies and professionals entering GBA. Over to you, Benjamin.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My sincere thanks to the Law Society for the invitation. It gives me great pleasure to be speaking among other esteemed speakers and panelists today, and to share with you what the Hong Kong SAR government has been doing to support professionals and businesses in Hong Kong to grasp the opportunities of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area. Comprising the two special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau, as well as 9 municipalities in Guangdong province, the GBA is one of the most open and economically vibrant regions in the country. It represents a huge market with a population of over 86 million and a combined GDP of approximately 13 trillion renminbi or 1.9 trillion US dollars in 2022, which is roughly equivalent in size to the 11th largest economy in the world. Now, under the auspices of one country, two systems, Hong Kong continues to be one of the world's freest economies with free flow of information and capital, buttressed by the rule of law. We are also bestowed with the unparalleled advantages of having the strong support of our country while maintaining seamless connections internationally. Outstanding talents from all over the world choose to come to do business or pursue their careers here. We champion free trade and collaboration and are committed to promoting high-quality development as well as fostering closer cooperation with the mainland, which has long been Hong Kong's largest trading partner. The Hong Kong government attaches great importance to Greater Bay Area development, which is an ideal entry point for Hong Kong to deepen coordinated regional economic development with the mainland. Now, notwithstanding the differences in legislative frameworks and administrative systems between Hong Kong and other mainland cities of the GBA, we are taking proactive steps to seek policy innovation and breakthroughs so that in addition to benefiting from GBA's boundless opportunities, we can also contribute Hong Kong's unique strengths in different areas to the overall development of the GBA. Since last year, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong SAR has established and personally chaired a high-level steering group to oversee and provide steer on policies, initiatives, and work plans from a strategic and macro perspective for Hong Kong to capitalize on the many opportunities of GBA development and other key national strategies. This steering group, consisting of all secretaries of departments and directors of bureaus of the Hong Kong SAR government as deputies and members, is responsible for formulating and implementing strategies with a view to creating stronger impetus for the growth of Hong Kong and achieving win-win outcomes in our cooperation with the mainland under the guiding principle of one country, two systems. 3 plenary sessions of the steering group have been held so far, and various milestone policy measures covering finance, innovation and technology, professional services, transportation, trade development, etc., have been implemented to facilitate the efficient flow of people, goods, capital, and information, thus creating more favorable conditions for the development of the Greater Bay Area. For example, in terms of further enhancing connectivity in the financial markets, following the successful implementation of various important initiatives, including the Cross-Boundary Wealth Management Connect scheme, which has generated significant business opportunities for financial institutions operating in Hong Kong, the northbound trading of Swap Connect was officially launched on 15th of May this year, providing a convenient and secure channel for international investors to trade in interest rate swap products in the mainland through a connection between infrastructure institutions in Hong Kong and the mainland. Also, the Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing Limited has launched the Hong Kong dollar renminbi dual counter model and a dual counter marking program last month, representing a significant step towards developing a diversified range of renminbi-denominated products in Hong Kong and further consolidating Hong Kong's role as the world's largest offshore renminbi hub. Innovation and technology is another policy priority of this term of government and also a major development engine of the GBA. The Shenzhen-Hong Kong-Guangzhou Science and Technology Cluster has been ranked second globally for 3 consecutive years in a Global Innovation Index. This highlights the strength of complementarity among GBA cities in innovation and technology. At the moment, the governments of Hong Kong and Shenzhen are pressing ahead in full speed the development of Shenzhen-Hong Kong Innovation and Technology Cooperation Zone at the boundary between the two cities. The cooperation zone will leverage the comparative advantages of Hong Kong in basic research and Shenzhen in prototyping and advanced manufacturing, so that the two sides can join forces to develop an international innovation and technology hub of the GBA. The partnership between the two governments has been further consolidated on 13th of March this year, when both sides signed the arrangement on comprehensive promotion of Hong Kong-Shenzhen innovation and technology cooperation to strengthen high-quality cooperation in science and technology, as well as to deepen collaboration in industry, university, and research. Hong Kong is renowned for its world-class professional services. We have outstanding talents both locally and from all over the world who can contribute to the development of the GBA. In the legal services sector, the Greater Bay Area Legal Professional Examination introduced in 2021 has enabled eligible Hong Kong legal practitioners to practice in specified areas of the mainland legal matters in the mainland cities of the GBA. This examination not only provides better facilitation and opportunities to the Hong Kong legal services sector, but can enhance the overall international competitiveness of legal services in the GBA through the participation of Hong Kong's professionals. In the engineering and construction-related disciplines, a registration system implemented in 2021 has made it possible for Hong Kong-registered professionals and companies to provide direct services in the mainland cities of the GBA through a simple registration process, thereby opening up significant room for development for practitioners in those disciplines. In enhancing people connectivity, the much-anticipated northbound travel for Hong Kong vehicle scheme has come into operation on the 1st of July 2023 and provided a more convenient way for Hong Kong people to self-drive to Guangdong using the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge for business or leisure on a short-term basis. This has contributed significantly towards the development of the one-hour living circle of the GBA. In promoting trade development, the governments of Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau have jointly announced in April this year Greater Bay Area standards, covering a total of 110 items in the fields of food quality and safety, Cantonese cuisine, transportation, mechanical and electrical products, as well as medical care, nursing care, education, esports, etc. This adoption of the Greater Bay Area standards is not compulsory, but the adoption can improve product and service quality, promote technological advancement, bring benefits to the sectors concerned, and foster the interconnectivity of the three places. In addition, the new Greater Bay Area Development Promotion Center, which was established in April this year under the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Guangdong, will provide useful information and suitable support on the ground to help Hong Kong people and companies identify and take advantage of the development opportunities in the GBA. Now, so the list of such new policy measures goes on and on. There is simply not enough time for me to go into the details of each of them, but one thing is for certain. The Hong Kong SAR government is committed to deepening cooperation with Guangdong and Macau under the principles of complementarity and mutual benefits, and to introduce more and more policy measures to support professionals and companies eyeing on the GBA market. The parties concerned will all strive to do so with full respect for one country, two systems, which is the underlying principle for the development of the Greater Bay Area. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a highly market-oriented and internationalized business environment that is underpinned by the rule of law. Hong Kong is your best gateway to tap into the Greater Bay Area market. No other city can match Hong Kong's level and sophistication of connectivity with the mainland and global markets. Hong Kong will continue to serve as a springboard to facilitate international companies to access the GBA and the mainland markets, and also as a gateway for mainland companies to expand to Hong Kong and beyond, fully demonstrating our unique role as a two-way super connector. We will continue to leverage Hong Kong's comparative advantages to drive the development of GBA as one of its core engines, and at the same time, creating new development opportunities for professionals and enterprises operating in Hong Kong. I sincerely invite our business friends from all over the world to come and see for yourself what the GBA has to offer and how Hong Kong can help you make the most of it. May I take the opportunity to wish you all good business and good health. Many, many thanks.
Thank you very much, Ben, for sharing the government policy implementing in the GBA. Well, for those who have not been to the GBA before, I strongly recommend that you should pay a visit to that. It's very, very different from 20 years ago, right, Ben? Well, and also I must thank Ben that he's right on time, as I think our lunch is coming up. I'm told that I cannot be overrun on this session. So anyway, without further ado, next, it is my privilege to invite Mr. Fred Kan, former chairman of Belt and Road Committee and founding chairman of Committee on Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, RCEP, of the Law Society of Hong Kong, to join today's panel. Fred is the senior partner of Fred Kan & Co., an established commercial law firm in Hong Kong. It is also a partner in DKL Qinghai law firm in Qinghai, Shenzhen. Fred was a council member of the Law Society of Hong Kong from 1997 to 2002. He created the Law Society's flagship event, Teen Talk, in 2010. He founded the Belt and Road Committee and was its chairman from 2016 to 2018. Fred is currently the chairman of the Law Society's RCEP committee. In May 2016, Fred was admitted to the Law Society's Roll of Honor in recognition of his distinguished service to the Law Society, to the Council, and to the development of the practice of law in Hong Kong. May I invite Mr. Fred Kan to share his wisdom from the perspective of a seasoned legal practitioner, please. Thank you, Fred.
It's a tall order to follow, as the previous speaker was right on the dot, and he stopped at the 10-minute mark. I hope by now you've been impressed by the bigness of the Bigger Bay Area in terms of its area, population, and GDP. No doubt it is a big market, full of opportunities, but then again, we all know that opportunities are reserved to people who are prepared. And Hong Kong is prepared to be your springboard for GBA opportunities. I would cut my presentation short to fulfill the requirements of the chairman. Now, under the GBA outline development plan, the GBA is to be driven by innovation and by reform. It is positioned to leverage the advantages of Hong Kong and Macau as free and open economies, and of Guangdong as a pioneer of reform and opening up. Now, let me go forward to the advantages and strengths of Hong Kong. I don't need to go over the accolades and of Hong Kong and all the world rankings of Hong Kong in various sectors and so forth, because it's well recorded in the brochure given by the organizer. So I don't need to go through that. Let me then talk about the advantages and strengths of Hong Kong. Now, in my view, they include: one, a low and simple tax regime; two, a robust legal system based on common law; and three, a business-friendly and supportive government policies. Let me talk about taxation briefly. In Hong Kong, the first Hong Kong $2 million of assessable profits are subject to a reduced profit tax rate of 8.25%. while any profits above this threshold are subject to the standard rate of 16.5%. As you know, it is exceedingly low. And it is possible, with careful structure, to arrange affairs of a Hong Kong company conducting business in Hong Kong in such a way that no tax is payable. So I advise you to seek advice from accountants and auditors and so forth, and I'm sure they will assist you in arranging your affairs in such a way you get the benefit, the real benefit of Hong Kong. Now, the other aspect of it is Hong Kong has an extensive network of double taxation agreements and does not impose withholding tax on dividends or interest payments. Secondly, a robust legal system Hong Kong is the only common law jurisdiction within China. The common law system is maintained under Article 8 of the Basic Law. The importance of Hong Kong's common law is underpinned by President Xi Jinping in his congratulatory remarks made on 1st of July 2022 at the 25th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to the motherland, when he noted that the central government fully supports Hong Kong in its effort to maintain its distinctive status and edges and to maintain the common law. Common law has been characterized as not only as a set of local laws rooted in common customs and practices, but with the readiness to cite precedents from other common law jurisdictions, it is a global system of law that operates as a well-tested set of legal know-how. So it's not just local Hong Kong law, but it's all over the world. We're gathering the jewels of various places to make the Hong Kong common law more advanced, more perfect. Now, it is important, of great interest, it is of great interest that the Supreme Court, the Supreme People's Court, proclaimed on 22nd of January 2022 an opinion which led to the creation of a pilot project in Shanghai of allowing companies established in the GBA with capital from Hong Kong to choose in their contracts Hong Kong law as applicable law for the resolution of disputes, irrespective of whether the dispute have a Hong Kong element. It follows the international trend of affording contracting parties the freedom to choose the applicable law in their contracts. It is, if this pilot project proves successful, the practice will be applied in the GBA. It will enhance the confidence of foreign investors and entrepreneurs in doing business in the GBA. Let us look at another aspect of the GBA as an important support pillar for the Belt and Road Initiative. Being the only common law jurisdiction in China, Hong Kong has also a unique role to play in the Belt and Road. As stated by the Secretary for Justice, Paul Lam, Hong Kong's common law system can contribute to the Belt and Road Initiative in a role as a super connector or super facilitator by linking the mainland, which is a civil law jurisdiction, with the global community by various means. This rationale also apply to RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economy Partnership, which is the largest free trade agreement ever established. Hong Kong is making application to join RCEP, and upon joining, Hong Kong will maximize the GBA's unique edge as a business platform and tap into our range of opportunities RCEP may offer. Now let's talk about the business-friendly and supportive government policies. We have the benefit of hearing from Deputy Commissioner MOK, so I don't need to go over in detail, but let me mention something, a few of those policies. The first one is CEPA, the Closer Economic Partnership Agreement. The Closer Economic Partnership Agreement provides preferential access to mainland China's market for Hong Kong products and firms. CEPA goes beyond China's WTO commitment by eliminating tariffs and granting easier and preferential access to certain service sectors. I would not go over the others I wish to go. For example, BUD, which is the dedicated fund on branding, upgrading, and domestic sale. But I would mention something about the funding, which I find it interesting, is the funding schemes to recruit young Hong Kong talents for GBA. The Labor Department and the Home Affairs Bureau have launched various funding schemes to encourage companies to recruit young Hong Kong talents to work in the GBA and to provide entrepreneurial support and incubation service to young people to start their own business in the GBA. When we talk about youth, I shall be remiss if I do not mention that Hong Kong houses a number of world-class educational institutions, and their graduates are a source of immediate human economic talent, not just for Hong Kong, but also for GBA. Now, I know my time is up, but I would spare me 1 minute and let me go over this article in the South China Morning Post. It talks about Hong Kong to help Saudi Arabia build innovation bridge to China. So not only that I'm telling you what GBA would do, what Hong Kong can do, but what others, like Saudi Arabia and other countries, see Hong Kong as a bridge to China. So Hong Kong is not only a springboard for GBA opportunities, Hong Kong is a bridge. Thank you.
So, thank you, Fred. Thank you for your clear and structured overview of Hong Kong's advantage and strength, as well as the business-friendly and supportive policy and schemes for all these young Hong Kong talents in the Greater Bay Area. I think one thing that Fred has mentioned is about the taxation incentive here in Hong Kong. I just came back from overseas. I can strongly feel that we should be very grateful. Here in Hong Kong, we have a very, very low tax rate. All right, without further ado, another distinguished speaker on this panel today is Mr. Nick Chan, Chairman of the Legal Committee, Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Nick Chan, a Justice of the Peace is a lawmaker, lawyer, and business advisor with computer science degree focused in artificial intelligence. With regional responsibilities as a partner at an international law firm and in-house experience at Fortune 100 tech companies, Leek has over 25 years experience helping business, economics, and people collaborate, solve problems, open new markets, and improve access to justice. Leek is chairman of the Law Society of Hong Kong's Belt and Road Conference Committee, chairman of Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce Legal Committee, honorary legal advisor of the Federation of Hong Kong Industry, honorary legal advisor of Smart City Consortium. He is also an expert member of the Chief Executive's Policy Unit, member of HKSAR Government's Committee on Innovation, Technology, and Industry Development, COD member at HKUST, council member at CUHK, and he chairs the advisory committee of the HKSAR Government's $2 billion Innovation and Technology Venture Fund. It's quite a long introduction, sorry. Join me in welcoming Mr. Leek Chen to share his insight on how GBA brings synergy. Thank you.
Mr. President, Chairman, fellow speakers, distinguished guests, good morning. Fred, your time is not up. The sun is just rising from the east. So we all do very well learning from today's opportunities about springboarding from Hong Kong into the rest of the Greater Bay Area. We are all awake. We would have heard, Roden, our chairman, talked about when you, have you been to the GBA? Well, of course, we are all in the GBA in Hong Kong. And in terms of tax, wonderful. What if we can slash your tax by half? Not 16.5% mentioned by Fred, but it's already half of that, 8.25% for your first 2 million. So come here, invest in Hong Kong, invest in us. We're here to help and support. Now, I'm speaking at this occasion in the capacity of the on behalf of the Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce. I have a lot of slides, so I will fly through. So where do we do business? We follow the money, and we serve the underserved. That's what all business should do, right? Follow the market. If you invest in something, think of markets, markets, and markets. Which market have potential? Which market will help you grow? Greater Bay Area, naturally. You've heard a lot of figures, insights from Commissioner Benjamin. So lots of things to think about. I quite like this term, being used quite recently in the last few years, called 彎道超車 in Cantonese, or overtaking as you drive through a bend. So if you are in business and you sort of hit a bend, you have the curve, you could slow down, but it's a matter of how fast you come out of the bend. So in some ways, because of the geopolitics, because of the headway, because of the COVID-19, we've all kind of gone through and lived through. So how do we come out of the bend stronger and better than ever? So I would, suggest that we all explore the opportunities available from the modernization of one of the biggest economy. Second largest economy in the world, with 14 billion people, of which we have about 400 million middle-class income earners, and growing. China is a developing country. We're not a developed country, so there are plenty of opportunities, and plenty of investment made every day, 320 million a day, can you believe? Lots of great potential. March is the largest political calendar for us, and where the Congress meets and share updates for the country and for the rest of the world. You look at the exports, you look at, China is now doing business with, China is considered the largest trading partner with 140 countries in the world. Plenty of opportunities. Sometimes people think of China as the factory of the world. That's true, but we are a lot more than that. And being, some say, the southern gate, the door in and from China, plenty of opportunities. Lots of international businesses, national businesses set up the regional, global headquarters in Hong Kong, and for good reasons. I talk about market, and market. If you can sell your product, your services to friends down the road, you can only sell so much a year. If you could sell them successfully in a market with 7+ million, and then 86 million, and then 14 billion into the rest of the world. So you're really here in the right place, right time to connect, be the super connector mentioned by our Secretary for Justice earlier. Technology will revolutionize, has been revolutionizing the way we do work, the way we live, the way we conduct our businesses. And China is leading the world in 5G, and Hong Kong is doing a lot in leading the space in Web 3.0. One of the largest startups, or in fact, it's no longer, they call themselves a startup, very humble, but worth billions of dollars is in Hong Kong, and MOK brands is the leading Web3 company, so metaverse company as well. So plenty of opportunities, but with all these new spaces, digital infrastructure, there are, of course, need to resolve disputes concerning and within those places, including the metaverse. You could resolve disputes in the metaverse, even if you don't know each other's identity, you can still conduct mediation. There are ways to do it. If there's time, I can delve into it, but because of time, I won't. As China is still moving from a developing country slowly into a developed country, there is, of course, the need and recognition to protect intellectual property rights. So we'll debunk any myth that people say, oh, China, my IP, would it be recognized? Of course, be recognized and protected. If we don't do that, how do we help businesses grow, the economy grow? Rule of law is strong. We have had over 20 million live-streamed court cases in the country. So rule of law is strong, sunshine court, smart courts, use of a lot of AIs. We can talk more about that if we have time. Hong Kong and other parts of the Great Area hold great potential. I borrowed this slide from Benjamin, as he could recognize. I just want to maybe point out, if you look at this slide, most of these cities are in Guangdong. And why is it not like Guangdong plus Hong Kong plan? Why does the country give us, within the 14th Five-Year Plan, a 9+2 Greater Bay Area plan? In some ways, it is recognizing the uniqueness of each of these places, cities, SARs. At the same time, it is really giving, recognizing the many unique advantages of Hong Kong. So now, with risk, in Chinese, risk is 危機. In Chinese, it's a danger and opportunity. With all the danger, whenever there's opportunity. And even with geopolitics, successful businessmen like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Tim Cook come over here and express their confidence in the market, in the country, and the system we have here. Synergy of 1+1. Earlier, Roden mentioned I serve at the Federation of Hong Kong Industries. A lot of factories, a lot of companies who manufacture. A lot of them really like it here, but they also, because of the geopolitics, they wouldn't close their factory in China, but they were, because of medical reasons, they wouldn't close it. But they would set up a +1 in one of the other countries in the region and work closely together. The Belt and Road Initiative. Earlier in the other panel I mentioned, I represent ALCO, Asian African Legal Consultative Organization, 47 member states, $26 trillion in combined GDP last year. 80% of our member states are part of the Belt and Road Initiative, active members. Of course, RCEP as well. Chief Executive made trips to many places to open up new avenues of business in collaboration to the Middle East, to Africa. China is the only place in the world that has a full train system, supply chain for all the industrial industries, right, as categorized by the UN. You want to be somewhere where it's cheap, efficient. So we do work with other countries, of course, and businesses, but why Hong Kong? I mean, you think about the prototyping. You could maybe, need 10 days to do prototyping and produce something in Greater Bay Area. You could have the idea here, conceptualize it here, make it in mainland China, in other GBA cities, and you can prototype in 10 days. In some other places, you might take 3 months or more. Time is money. We all know that, right? A lawyer's charging time is also money. We know that too. So use Hong Kong as a springboard. Hong Kong welcomes you, and I'd like our Consul General in the room to share that message with your friends, our fellow countrymen. And the 8 centers of Hong Kong really stand out, and they are there recognizing some of the many successes we had, the people capital we have, the international financial city that we are. And at the Law Society event, of course, I have to remind everyone, China, the country, have positioned Hong Kong as the regional legal services and disputes resolution hub, and for good reasons. I won't repeat that. You've heard from the last discussion. So join us at the Hong Kong General Chamber of Commerce. A bit of self-promotion, if you don't mind. Most successful businesses are here, but some are not yet, of course, so I welcome you. Please join us. Many opportunities. You've heard our former Secretary for Justice talk about CEPA, and many unique advantages I mentioned, culture, people. If you could make it here, you could make it anywhere, right? Make it in Hong Kong, make it in GBA, you can make it in mainland China, make it to the rest of the world. And with that, I close and wish you all a healthy and good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Lick. So apparently all our speakers are very adhere to the time. Okay. Thank you, Lick, for your very clear sharing about from a macro perspective. I particularly like the slides that you say danger and opportunities. So do you mean that more dangers, more opportunities? Yeah, probably, right? So it looks like we are now in this same situation. Okay, our next speaker will perhaps talk about some sort of business opportunity. Let's go for real money. All right, next is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Patrick Lau, Deputy Executive Director, Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Dr. Lau oversees the promotion of Hong Kong service sectors, merchandise trade, and innovation, as well as the Council's external relations, corporate communications, and marketing functions, and network of 50 offices worldwide. In addition to driving international promotion and trade missions, as well as 16 of HKTDC's anchor conference and service fairs annually, he spearheads new initiatives such as the Transformation Sandbox, T-Box, for SMEs, Go GBA One-Stop Platform, tripartite deal-making, and strategic partnerships. Prior to the HKTDC, Patrick was a seasoned lawyer, banker, investor, and deal maker. Let's now invite Dr. Patrick Lau to introduce the work of HKTDC and how the Council helps foreign companies to enter the GBA market with success cases.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, it's my great pleasure and to be here. Thank you so much to President CM and Vice President Roden for the invitation, because I was a fellow solicitor, Hong Kong solicitor, and I'm very privileged to be within this distinguished group here today talking about one of the topics that I'm most passionate about, which is GBA. I want to start by sharing a very recent experience, which is about 1.5 weeks ago at the HKTDC. I oversee our 50 branch offices around the world, and we brought all the branch directors back to Hong Kong for a week-long meeting. And when we asked them what they care most about in terms of the opportunities for Hong Kong, Greater Bay Area heads ranks very highly. They all were very interested in GBA. And true enough, we, as part of the visit, we brought them to the GBA as a side trip using the bridge, the Guangdong Macau Zhuhai Bridge. And we visited the Greater Bay Area. The whole week of program show that indeed from all around the world, people are focusing on business growth, and currently the bright spot is in the Greater Bay Area. So that sets the scene, I think, for today's my presentation.
I want to kick off by talking about our services that we launched in 2021, actually, called Go GBA One-Stop Platform. This is services where we aggregate the information from the 9+2 cities in the GBA into this online and offline platform. So this is a total solution approach, which I will explain, both online and offline, including advisory and workshop that we have launched. And in particular, as we have just heard from the Deputy Commissioner of GBA, all the favorable policies that have been put into the Greater Bay Area, this is a major attraction for all businesses entering the GBA, including foreign businesses. And so we have gathered all this information and put them onto an online platform, which is free of charge for everyone to access and use, which we constantly update. It's a very tireless effort of my team, in fact, working closely with Benjamin's office, in the office of the GBA of the Constitutional and Management Affairs Bureau, so that we can get all these policies, not just from the Hong Kong side, but from the 9+2 cities, all together in this one platform, allowing people to search and search based on your own industry, based on the area that you want to get into. And so far, we have heard that this is a very useful tool, that everyone can access is online. And what we have seen is that this tool has now reached 1.3 million viewership. It is actually during the border closure time that we launched this tool, and yet we have had this readership, which means that now that the border is fully reopened, we anticipate even more. This particular tool, in addition to the policy and subsidies, which are the most searched functions, it also covers, for example, a favorable policy of the taxation benefits. If a Hong Kong business or business from abroad have not been in the mainland for more than 183 days in a year, that business will not fall within the taxation net of the mainland China government. And that is quite important to some of the small and medium enterprises. So in fact, you will see that we actually have a calendar on this app, which can automatically help users to track the number of days you have been in the mainland and provide warning or reminders, not really a warning, a reminder that the time, the dates limit may be up, so that the parties, so that you become more careful in planning the trip for the rest of the year. So there are some useful tools of this nature. There are also tools there to help overseas businesses to find the nearest hospital, to find the nearest police station, to call, what will be the help desk or helpline to call if your car were to break down on your way to the Greater Bay Area, so etc. So this, I will encourage all businesses to use. Okay. Oh, okay. We don't have any further slides. Then I'll go free flow. So I think this particular tool, as I said, have reached 1.3 million readership. On top of the online platform, we have, in fact, the offline centers that we have set up in 9 different cities, all 9 different cities of the GBA. We have currently set up 7. This is a task that the Chief Executive have allocated to TDC during the last policy address for us to set up. We have set up 7 of this Go GBA support center, meaning that a business that are already in the GBA, they can go to those physical centers to seek our help. I think all this the satisfaction from the supports from all the stakeholders of this Go GBA platform aside, I think the most satisfying to us is that there are success cases that are already flowing in. We have seen, I want to quote one particular example of an Israeli company based in Hong Kong, they are in the business of jewelry certification. And they obviously, Hong Kong itself is a huge market in jewelry. We have a huge jewelry trade in this city. But the mainland China is such a blue ocean for them. They have been wanting to enter the mainland China market, but it's not easy. So they have tried Beijing, Shanghai. Finally, through our Go GBA platform, they have managed to get themselves set up and obtain the license to do what they are doing, the certification work, through Shanghai in Shenzhen. And that is a concrete example of the GBA actually benefiting a business. And it's in fact also gladly an example of such businesses participating in our events and actually getting the contacts and proactively reaching out to find ways to get themselves established in the GBA, and then now they can enjoy the benefit of the whole GBA market. So I encourage all of the audience today to help spread the word. We have support program, the Go GBA platform, to help all businesses to tap into the Greater Bay Area. I would also want to mention another major campaign that we recently did in the GBA, which we call the Guangdong Hong Kong Cooperation Week, 粵港合作週. And under that Cooperation Week, we actually we hosted a symposium highlighting how the different cities in the Greater Bay Area may collaborate together, and particularly using the Hong Kong strength, that much of which Frex and Nick have all covered. And at that conference in Guangzhou, Guangzhou City, on that day, we actually have a thunderstorm, huge rain, but more than 2,000 participants turned out to learn about the opportunity. It was, of course, an event officiated by the chief executive, who went purposely for that event, proving the 1 hour living circle concept, because he himself traveled back the same day because the GBA is very convenient. And I think the numbers of participants that are actively showing up shows everyone that this is really an area of keen interest. Everyone is really wanting to tap into the GBA opportunity. And I think finally, another major important point that I think I must also emphasize is that the infrastructure is developing so fast in the GBA, making the GBA so convenient and so ready for everyone to tap into this business opportunity. So I hope in closing that we all encourage everyone that we know to fully leverage on this opportunity and reach out to HKTDC if any help is needed. We are very grateful to promote this opportunity together. And I wish everyone the best of health and best of business. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, for sharing with us about this very convenient and important Go GBA platform. So I'm pretty sure now that with all the representatives from all the CGs here, if you need Patrick's number, personal one, please feel free to go to him after this session. All right, last but certainly not least, is the Vice Chairman of GBA Committee of the Chinese General Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Maggie LEE, is also with us on this panel today. Ms. Maggie LEE has over 25 years of experience with KPMG. During her 25 years of experience at the firm, She is stationed in both Hong Kong and Southern China, covering Greater Bay Area. Maggie has extensive experience in providing audit, advisory, and capital market services to Hong Kong and mainland Chinese companies. She has a broad client base in a variety of sectors. Her clients include a mix of state-owned enterprise, privately owned enterprise, and multinational companies. With her background of working in Greater Bay Area, Maggie is also a key member of her firm's GBA task force, helping to drive the initiative internally and externally. Please join me in welcoming Maggie to share with us some case studies of leveraging the strengths of the Greater Bay Area for growth and expansion. Over to you, Maggie.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all the gentlemen on the stage for sharing the background, all the rules and regulations, the support from government on how we can do business in GBA. So by now, I think that we are all very hungry, not because of the lunch hour coming up, but also for GBA. I think it would be very useful to share a few case studies, a real-life case studies, so that you can think about what we can do in terms of business in GBA. Hopefully, I picked 3 today, and hopefully one of those would fit into your situation. Okay, let's start with small. In this case, it is a small startup company. Well, GBA, how do we compare with other Bay Area around the world? One key characteristic is within GBA, we can have research and development, manufacturing, logistics, banking facilities, financing facilities, and more importantly, all the professional service that you need, all within one area. So in this case, this is a story of youngsters. They are originated in Hong Kong, having this great idea of inventing a device, a smart device that you can put into a luggage so that you can track your luggage while you're on the road. Have you ever heard of like smart luggage where you can track it and you don't hassle about losing your luggage? So this is the invention. But with this idea in Hong Kong, when you think about commercialization, it is quite expensive to make it happen in Hong Kong. So what they have to do is to make use of the different characteristics of various cities in GBA to make it come true. R&D in Hong Kong, and what about manufacturing? They put it in Dongguan, one of the GBA cities. And after manufacturing, they need logistics center and warehouse. Where do they put it? It's a city right next to Dongguan, which is called Huizhou. So we have the R&D, we have the manufacturing, logistics, and Hong Kong actually remained their international sales center, so for obvious reasons. By now, the company has already raised 2 rounds of funding. It comes from mainland China, and the founder has once mentioned that when they go on further fundraising activity, they would probably also consider Hong Kong IPO because of its international center. So this is a typical example where you can make use of the characteristics of various cities among different, within GBA. And with the whole journey, various governments in municipal cities, they offer good and great support in terms of the policies and the fund to support youngsters and also startups. All right, so what if you are not a small company anymore? Let's talk about medium-sized and also for those who are well-established, big-sized corporates. What can you do more with GBA? Now, for bigger size company, well established, well, probably other than, well, I'm an accountant, you look at the top line, you look at your expenses and costs. So other than expanding your top line, what about the cost structure that you always keep revisiting? And for medium-sized company, you probably are thinking about expanding into various cities within Chinese mainland or specifically GBA. But for each of your business, you may not want to add 2 or 3 financial role headcount in each of the city because of the scale. So one solution is shared service center. So why shared service center? Well, shared service center, you can select some repetitive and also labor-intensive procedures and put it in a city or an area where the rental and the labor cost is not as high as the first-tier city. So this is to resolve the talent mismatch. It is not easy to hire people these days. And it's also bring up the consistency and the effectiveness and the quality of the procedures. So why shared service center in GBA? Now, within GBA, we have first-tier city and the second-tier city. In some of the second-tier city, it is not difficult to find the talents that you need for a shared service center. And as I just mentioned as well, various government, they also provide very good government support policy, tax policy to support companies to invest and set up their shared service center in those cities. Logistics is very important. Transportation. Gentlemen just mentioned about transportation, the 1-hour living circle. For management in first-tier city, it is not difficult to reach out to or visit your shared service center within just an hour or so. So this is very convenient from setting up until operating the shared service center. And last but not least, talents, I just mentioned. In most of the second-tier city where you set up your SSC, the talents, they can possess very good language skills. They can have fluent Cantonese, Mandarin, and also possesses good English skill as well. The third case that I have selected, I want to showcase a breakthrough just because of GBA. This one is a global pharmaceutical company. They have established in Hong Kong for a long time already. And they aim to, well, it's global, and also China must be also one of their markets. So what have been breakthrough over the last few years just because of GBA? Well, we as people, we want to live in GBA, we are in GBA, we want to live in the 9th city in mainland. Very important support in terms of living there is education and healthcare system. So for those who know or you may not know, for some of the medicine that we use in Hong Kong, it may not be available in mainland. So one breakthrough is the new measure announced by government a couple of years ago, where they have authorized Guangdong government to approve some specific 2 types of things. One is the medicines that used, or the drug registered in Hong Kong, and medical device used by the hospitals in Hong Kong. So with the approval of Guangdong provincial government, you can use these drugs and medical device in specific healthcare institutions in Guangdong area. So with this measure, this company who has already established in Hong Kong, they can quickly register some of their drugs in GBA and used in mainland in Guangdong province. So as a business, even if you are not in this pharmaceutical or healthcare sector, think about establishing an office in Hong Kong. And well, Hong Kong with the good legal system and with the business environment and the commercial practice, which is similar to the Western world, it is easy to set up a business here. And you can get closer to all these new measures within GBA initiative. Right. So with all these three cases, hopefully I can give you some food for thoughts about your business. Going back to, as a summary to our topic today, what is Hong Kong's role within GBA? Well, we are not just connector. Hong Kong is connector, investor, and operator, what we call CIO. Well, other than a super connector, Hong Kong is also having the highest investment in terms of foreign investment into mainland. And we are also operator. We know how to do business in Hong Kong. So think about, well, for those of you who are already in Hong Kong or established your business in Hong Kong, congratulations, because you have already started your journey in GBA. Hong Kong is within GBA. Think about the characteristics of being a CIO in Hong Kong and how we can make use of these to expand your business in GBA. So this is a question for all of us here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maggie, for sharing all these case studies with us. So I think we now come to a very exciting part, which is the Q&A session. I understand that time is running a bit short, so I will be quick. In fact, there's a couple of questions that I literally want to ask. In particular, one of the questions that I did mention before is about the slides that Nick shared. It's about the danger and opportunities. So with that, perhaps I ask a question to Nick first. So Hong Kong operates under a capitalized system, under one country, two systems. But as business enters or further invests into the mainland China, in particular in the Greater Bay Area, should they worry about the socialist system, confiscating the asset of private business for common prosperity?
Why would one need to worry about a socialist system that lifted, billions of people out of poverty, right? So nothing to worry. It's very clear the government, Central People's Government, make clear that one country, two systems is here to stay. Two systems is not common law and civil law, right? Meaning, socialist system with Chinese characteristics and the capitalist system we have in Hong Kong being different. So we should be, mutually supporting and helping each other grow and end any Cold Wars, right? If it were. In terms of whether someone need to worry about their wealth being confiscated under common prosperity, I think it's important to note, and friends here could help spread the word if you agree, is common prosperity doesn't mean averaging everyone's net worth. If it were, I'll be a happy man, Hyun over there won't be a happy man. Anyway, following our panel one, if you missed it, Hyun is our favorite. So it's really about, for years, you think about the Chinese system, socialist system with Chinese characteristics, but it came from Marxism and Leninism, where the idea has always been to strive to build a better community, a shared future, so no one is left behind. So hence, common prosperity. Everybody, no one is left behind, everyone prospers. So no need to worry about your asset being taken away. As lawyers, I think one of the things that is very clear is in the early 1980s, China passed laws on intellectual property, passed laws, updated laws on property ownership rights. Even back in the days, you make very clear that you could own your own property. But of course, you must operate within legal realms. It's just because you've breached data privacy laws, infringe on people's rights, and then, or antitrust, being involved in non-competitive behavior, and you get fined. That's not, anything to do with common prosperity. You just have to comply with local laws wherever you operate and respect local laws. Thank you. Hope that helps.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
So at least we have the assurance from Nick here, being the chairman of the legal committee, right? oh yeah. of the National People's Congress to correct. So, Mr. Ken, well, perhaps, you are from Law Society. Obviously, you have made enormous contribution to our profession. So I just want to ask you a very, very high-level question. How do you see Hong Kong's legal sector serving the least in the GBA?
Well, in the GBA, we have three legal systems, three different sets of law. One set of law is from the mainland. The other one is Hong Kong, which is common law. And the third one's Macau, which is basically a civil law jurisdiction. And I think Hong Kong is pivotal in connecting these three. And I think the role of the legal profession, once we start entering into the Greater Bay, and with more Hong Kong lawyers becoming Greater Bay lawyers, then we would be able to coordinate, to accommodate, and to devise a new set of law that would be common to three jurisdictions, particularly in commercial matters. I think that the Hong Kong lawyers who have a lot of experience in commercial matters and dealing with the international community would be able to make a great contribution.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much. So I think that's the work to our profession. So Patrick, I must say sorry to you that I'm just been informed by the production house that in fact TDC has actually provided a number of different beautiful slides. Somehow has not been shown. Now they are able to show it now. Would you like to simply sharing your very colorful slides with the audience here?
Thank you, Roden. Actually, this is my team has worked so hard on this slide, so I must show them. So the next few slides actually shows still the GoGBA app that we had. We had the GoGBA go-to guides. Because after we launched the GoGBA, actually it turns out that people want even simpler version of how to do business in GBA. So we have many go-to guides available on the GoGBA platform. And then you see that these are real pictures of the GoGBA support centers that we have since open. So we already have 7 altogether by now. So these are on-the-ground support. And then these are really a lot of pictures. So probably it's the file size was too large. So there's a computer glitch that we were not able to display this slide. But you can see that in terms of the activities, I think it's very real that whenever we talk about Greater Bay Area, there was huge interest from all around the world. And you can see this from this slide. We have done GoGBA team activities with international chambers. We have done GoGBA Day together with the Office of GBA Development, etc. And there's always a huge turnout. And this whole set of another set of slides here, showing many people. And this was the Guangdong Hong Kong Cooperation Week that I mentioned. Where again, I think the pictures is just to prove to you that the numbers I quote to you was real, and so that you can believe that actually, and I particularly emphasized that it was a thunderstorm in Guangzhou that day. We still have 2,000 people turn out to listen to the opportunities in Guangdong, in GBA. Therefore, I truly believe that this is the opportunity for everyone around the world. So those were the slides that I wanted to show.
Patrick.
Thank you, Roden.
Sorry about that.
Not at all.
So before I ask Ben to basically sum up what the government can do for us, perhaps I want to ask a quick question with Maggie that, so when corporate consider if they would like to expand in the GBA, what should they be concerned or what should they be aware of? Maggie?
It's a quick question, but it can be a long answer. Well, we all do business with strategy. So I think with strategy is a very, very broad term. You need to think about what is your purpose. Are you growing your top line, looking at your costs, looking at your efficiency of supply chain management? Even if you're talking about growing the top line, you can go with going into various cities or going with only different or specific products, growing your market share. So what do you want to do? I think it is important to understand what you can do. But the good thing is, it is good to have all the professionals here in Hong Kong where you can talk to them, no matter it's lawyer, accountant, management consultancy. And they work with a lot of clients in different sectors and can share case studies and also best practice. And they can give you some tips in terms of what you can do. And after that, all the other things would come up, like location study, what is the comparison between the various tax incentive of the cities, etc.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for your precise and concise reply. And last but certainly not least, Ben, you are definitely from the government. So perhaps a very simple question. So for all these foreign enterprise, if they are interested in investing in the Greater Bay Area market, what are the channels through which they can obtain more information, advice, and support? Any advice?
Yeah, thank you, Roden. I think one thing that I would like to highlight here, after hearing the presentation from our distinguished panelists here, is that GBA is a key national strategy. It has great potential. The GBA is one of the most open and economically vibrant regions in the country. I mean, there's no reason to think that GBA is not going to be successful. So it's now time to pitch in. So how do we do that? Now we have already the world-renowned professional services in Hong Kong. We have legal services, we have accountants here. They're the best in the world. We have TDC, which is doing business matching. And then we have the government, we have Invest Hong Kong, which is our government department responsible for attracting foreign direct investments and retaining them. Now, we have Invest Hong Kong people all over the world in 33 different cities. So for our friends in different countries, reach out to our Invest Hong Kong people, talk to them. They provide free services and advice to you on how you can make the best use of GBA opportunities. And we also have like the Go GBA platform, which Patrick and his team has worked so hard on. And actually, I have the privilege of working alongside Patrick and his team on this initiative because we think it's very important for those of you and for those of us who are not in this part of the world to understand before you come to see for yourself and believe in the opportunities, that you have a chance to, through your fingertips, understand what GBA is about. And so we work very hard to provide as much information as we can. But all in all, action is important. And I think we have heard from everyone today that GBA presents huge development potential and lots of opportunities for our friends all over the world. And the government is resolute in proactively pursuing policy innovations and breakthroughs to help Hong Kong businesses and Hong Kong people and professionals to make the best of this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. So I think one thing I can definitely confirm that the Law Society has regular meetings with HATDC and also Invest Hong Kong. They are really, really helpful. So if you have any questions about your investment opportunities or questions whatsoever, please do reach out to them. So we have just had 90 minutes of a very informative and thought-provoking discussions. So I think we are already hearing from government bodies as well as business and legal sectors. So I believe that today the audience has gained a much more solid idea about what opportunities the GBA is presenting to investors. One thing I do and I would like to highlight here is the uniqueness of Hong Kong's legal professionals. The skill set, the expertise, the experience, and the network. Together, the city's legal professionals play a vital role to Hong Kong, serve as an important gateway to attract foreign investment and also assist our mainland enterprise to go global. On behalf of the Law Society of Hong Kong, I would like to close this session by thanking this distinguished panel of speakers, Mr. Benjamin Mok, Mr. Fred Kan, Mr. Lek Chan, Dr. Patrick Lau, and Ms. Maggie Lee. Let us put our hands together to thank them for once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the insightful sharing, from which I must say we've benefited greatly. May I now invite Mr. Tong to present souvenirs to the speakers as a token of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you very much again, distinguished guests. Please be seated. Thank you all. We have now come to the end of our morning sessions. We will now take a lunch break. When we come back in the afternoon, free seating will be arranged, so please be reminded to bring all your personal belongings with you when you leave.
For those with us online, please use the same link for the afternoon sessions. For those joining our luncheon, our staff will show you the direction to the luncheon venue. And we will see you all again in this forum at 2:30 p.m.